Queen Sophia Martinez stood at the observation deck of her massive starship, gazing at the endless sea of stars. Her long dark hair flowed freely in the artificial gravity, and her emerald eyes reflected the distant lights of countless worlds she had visited. As the last surviving queen of her civilization, she carried a burden that grew heavier with each passing day. 10 years ago, a devastating genetic plague had swept through their empire, targeting only the females of their species. Within months, billions of women perished, leaving Sophia as the sole survivor, protected by her unique genetic makeup. The plague had been cruel and selective, sparing all males, but destroying any hope of continuing their species without female partners. Their civilization, once spanning 3 galaxies, now faced a slow extinction. The remaining men worked tirelessly to maintain their vast empire, but without women, their future was sealed. Sophia's unique biology made her immune to the plague, but it also made finding a compatible partner incredibly challenging. She turned away from the window, her flowing white dress rustling as she walked through the golden corridors of her ship. The vessel, named Hope's Light, was a masterpiece of engineering, designed to sustain her search across the universe for compatible life forms. Her personal guards, led by the loyal Captain Daniel Wright, followed at a respectful distance. "Your Majesty," called out Dr. Laura Phillips, her chief scientist, hurrying down the corridor with a datapad in hand. "We've found something extraordinary." The excitement in Laura's voice made Sophia's heart race. After years of disappointment, could this be the breakthrough they needed? In the ship's main laboratory, Laura displayed a holographic image of a blue planet, Earth, she announced. "The inhabitants show remarkable genetic similarity to our species. Their DNA structure could be compatible with ours, particularly the males." Sophia studied the rotating image of Earth, hope rising in her chest for the first time in years. The planet was beautiful, reminding her of their homeworld before the plague. "Tell me more about these humans," she requested, her voice soft but commanding. Laura explained how humans had developed space travel, but hadn't yet ventured far beyond their solar system. Their technology was primitive compared to Sophia's civilization, but their genetic makeup was surprisingly advanced. Most importantly, their males showed potential for biological adaptation. "There's more," Laura continued, pulling up detailed genetic charts. "Their reproductive system is similar enough that, with some genetic modification, we might be able to create viable offspring. It's our best chance yet." Sophia felt a mix of emotions wash over her. Hope, fear, and determination blended together as she considered the implications. Her people had strict laws against interfering with developing civilizations, but their situation was desperate. Without new genetic material, their entire species would vanish within a generation. Captain Daniel stepped forward, his face showing concern. "Your Majesty, approaching Earth could be risky. We don't know how they'll react to our presence." "We have no choice," Sophia replied, her voice firm. "Prepare a diplomatic message. We'll approach them openly and honestly. They deserve to know our intentions." The next few hours were a flurry of activity as the ship's crew prepared for first contact. Sophia retreated to her private chambers, where she recorded a message for Earth's leaders. She explained their situation, their peaceful intentions, and their hope for cooperation. As she finished recording, Sophia walked to her personal garden, a space filled with plants from their lost homeworld. Among the exotic flowers and crystalline trees, she allowed herself to dream of a future where her people might survive. Earth represented more than just hope for their species. It represented a chance to create something new, a bridge between 2 civilizations. The ship's engines hummed as they set course for Earth. Sophia knew this journey could end in either salvation or rejection, but she had no choice but to try. The fate of her entire civilization rested on the response of this young, distant world. As stars streaked past the garden's windows, she whispered a prayer to the universe, hoping that somewhere on that blue planet their salvation awaited. The arrival of Queen Sophia's massive starship in Earth's orbit caused immediate global chaos. News channels worldwide broadcast images of the gleaming vessel, which dwarfed the International Space Station. Military forces around the world went on high alert. But the peaceful message transmitted from the ship helped calm initial fears. Dr. William Carter stood in the United Nations Assembly Hall, adjusting his tie nervously. As one of Earth's leading geneticists, He had been chosen to be part of the first contact team. The room buzzed with tension as diplomats from various nations debated how to respond to Queen Sophia's unusual request. This could be the most significant scientific breakthrough in human history, William explained to the assembly. Their genetic science is centuries ahead of ours. The potential benefits to humanity could be extraordinary. He displayed slides showing the preliminary data shared by Queen Sophia's scientists. The landing site was chosen, a secure facility in neutral Switzerland. As Queen Sophia's shuttle descended from the mother's ship, thousands watched in person and billions more through their screens. The vessel touched down with barely a sound, its silver surface gleaming in the morning sun. When the door opened, everyone held their breath. Queen Sophia emerged, her presence commanding immediate attention. Though she looked human, there was something otherworldly about her grace and beauty. Dr. Laura Phillips and Captain Daniel followed behind her, while Earth's representatives, led by Dr. Carter, stepped forward to greet them. "Welcome to Earth," William said, trying to keep his voice steady. Sophia smiled warmly, and the tension in the air eased slightly. The meeting moved inside the facility, where serious discussions began. "Our situation is critical," Sophia explained to the assembled leaders. "We need compatible males to prevent the extinction of our civilization. In return, we offer to share our advanced technology, particularly in medicine and space travel." The revelation of their true purpose caused heated debate. Some nations saw it as an opportunity, others as a threat. William found himself increasingly fascinated by their advanced genetic science as Laura shared more details. "The process would require voluntary participants," Laura explained. "The chosen males would undergo genetic modification to become compatible with our biology. It's completely safe, but it would be a one-way transformation." During a break in the discussions, William found himself alone with Queen Sophia in the facility's garden. She seemed drawn to Earth's plants, touching the petals of a rose with wonder. "Your world is beautiful," she said softly, "so full of life and diversity. It reminds me of what we lost." William felt sympathy for her situation. "How do you handle such responsibility?" he asked. "The future of your entire civilization depends on finding a solution." Sophia turned to him, her emerald eyes showing both strength and vulnerability. "We do what we must to survive," she replied. "But we won't force anyone. The choice must be freely made." As the day progressed, a framework for cooperation began to take shape. Earth would allow volunteers to be tested for compatibility, while Sophia's people would share specific technologies as a gesture of goodwill. The process would be carefully monitored by both sides. News of the agreement spread quickly. Within hours, thousands of men worldwide had already volunteered for testing. The prospect of becoming part of an advanced civilization appealed to many, while others were simply moved by the chance to prevent the extinction of a species. As the first day of contact drew to a close, William watched Queen Sophia's shuttle ascend back to her ship. The events of the day felt surreal, yet he knew this was just the beginning. Humanity stood on the brink of an unprecedented opportunity, but also faced complex ethical and social challenges. In his office later that night, William reviewed the genetic data again. Something about the patterns fascinated him, hinting at possibilities that went beyond anything in human science. The coming days would change human history forever, and he was right at the center of it all. The global response to Queen Sophia's request was overwhelming. Millions of men from every corner of Earth volunteered, hoping to be chosen. Testing centers were established in major cities worldwide, each equipped with advanced scanning technology provided by Sophia's people. Among the volunteers was Christopher Bennett, a 32-year-old marine biologist from California. His calm demeanor and scientific background made him stand out from the start. Unlike many volunteers who were drawn by the allure of advanced technology, Christopher's motivation stemmed from a genuine desire to help preserve a dying civilization. The testing process was rigorous. Volunteers underwent detailed genetic screening, psychological evaluations, and physical examinations. Dr. Laura Phillips oversaw the process, ensuring each candidate met their strict criteria. Most volunteers were eliminated in the first round, their genetic patterns proving incompatible. Christopher progressed through each phase, his results consistently exceptional. During his interviews, he displayed a deep understanding of the responsibility involved. "This isn't just about saving a civilization," he explained to the evaluation panel. "It's about building a bridge between two species, creating something entirely new." Queen Sophia observed the selection process from her ship, receiving daily reports. When Christopher's file crossed her desk, something about his profile caught her attention. His genetic markers showed unprecedented compatibility levels. His background in marine biology suggested an adaptable mind. During the final phase of selection, Sophia decided to meet the remaining candidates personally. The meeting with Christopher was scheduled for a sunny afternoon in the Swiss facility. As he entered the room, their eyes met, and an unexpected connection formed. "Tell me," Sophia asked, "why are you really here?" Christopher's answer was thoughtful. "I've spent my life studying how species adapt and survive. The opportunity to help prevent an extinction event, to be part of something larger than myself, that's worth any personal sacrifice." Their conversation extended well beyond the scheduled time. They discussed ocean ecosystems, the parallels between Earth's marine life and the creatures of Sophia's homeworld, and the possibilities of combining their two species' knowledge. Sophia found herself drawn to his intelligence and genuine curiosity. However, not everyone supported the selection process. Protests erupted in several countries, with some groups claiming it was a form of human trafficking. Others worried about the implications of genetic modification. Security around the testing facilities had to be increased. Dr. William R. Carter worked closely with Laura to address public concerns. They held press conferences explaining the safety protocols and voluntary nature of the program. "This is a collaborative scientific endeavor," William emphasized. "Every step is carefully monitored and documented." As the final selection phase neared its end, Christopher's compatibility results continued to exceed expectations. The genetic modeling suggested he would adapt well to the transformation process. More importantly, his psychological evaluations showed he fully understood and accepted the permanent nature of the change. Queen Sophia called a meeting with her advisors. Captain Daniel expressed concerns about choosing an Earth scientist, worried about potential complications, but Laura strongly supported Christopher's candidacy, presenting detailed data supporting his selection. The final decision rested with Sophia. She spent hours reviewing all the candidates' files again, but her thoughts kept returning to Christopher. There was something about him that went beyond mere genetic compatibility, shared vision of what their cooperation could achieve. In the end, the announcement was made. Christopher Bennett would be the first human to undergo the transformation process. The news spread quickly, making headlines worldwide. Some celebrated it as a historic moment of interspecies cooperation, while others warned of unknown consequences. Christopher received the news with characteristic calm. He spent his last normal day on Earth walking along the beach near his home, watching the sunset over the Pacific Ocean. Tomorrow would begin a journey that would change not just his life, but potentially the future of two civilizations. In her ship, Sophia looked down at Earth, hoping they had made the right choice. The next phase would be the most challenging, and the most crucial for their survival. The transformation chamber aboard Queen Sophia's ship glowed with a soft blue light. Christopher Bennett lay in the center, surrounded by advanced medical equipment. Dr. Laura Phillips monitored his vital signs, while Queen Sophia watched anxiously from behind a protective screen. The process began slowly. Special compounds designed to alter Christopher's DNA flowed through his system. His body temperature fluctuated as cellular changes took hold. The first few hours were critical. Many previous attempts with test subjects had failed at this stage. "His body is accepting the changes," Laura reported, studying the readings. "The genetic restructuring is proceeding exactly as planned." Sophia released a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. On Earth, Dr. William Carter and his team watched the process through a live feed, documenting every detail. Days passed as Christopher's transformation continued. His physical features began to change subtly. His skin took on a slight luminescence. His eyes developed deeper color, and his muscle structure became more refined. Through it all, he remained conscious, though in a dreamlike state. Sophia visited him daily, talking to him even though he couldn't respond. She shared stories about her world, her hopes for their future, and her gratitude for his sacrifice. Sometimes she caught slight movements of his hand or changes in his breathing that suggested he could hear her. The ship's medical team worked in shifts, constantly monitoring the transformation. Laura noticed something unexpected. The speed of adaptation was faster than their calculations had predicted. Christopher's human DNA was not just accepting the changes but actively integrating them in new ways. On the 7th day, complications arose. Christopher's heart rate suddenly spiked, and his body temperature rose dangerously high. The medical team rushed to stabilize him as alarms blared throughout the medical bay. His system is fighting the final phase of transformation, Laura explained urgently. You need to decide, continue or reverse the process. The choice had to be made quickly. Either option carried serious risks. Sophia stepped forward. Ask him, she commanded. Deserves to make this choice. Laura adjusted the medication, allowing Christopher to regain consciousness briefly. His eyes opened, now a striking shade of gold. Continue, he whispered, looking directly at Sophia, not afraid. They proceeded with the transformation, and gradually his vital signs stabilized. The final phase brought the most dramatic changes. Christopher's genetic structure finally aligned with Sophia's species, allowing him to access abilities beyond human limits. His mind expanded, able to process information at incredible speeds. The transformation was completing itself in ways their scientists hadn't predicted. Dr. William Carter, watching from Earth, documented these unexpected developments. He's becoming something entirely new, he reported to the United Nations Committee. It's not quite human anymore, but not exactly like Queen Sophia's people either. It's a perfect bridge between our species. After 2 weeks, Christopher opened his eyes fully for the first time since the process began. He sat up slowly, taking in his changed body with scientific curiosity. Sophia entered the chamber, no longer needing the protective screen. How do you feel? She asked softly. Different, Christopher replied, his voice carrying a new resonance. But still myself. I can feel ... more. Understand more. He lifted his hand, watching as subtle waves of light played beneath his skin. The medical team ran final tests, confirming the transformation's success. Christopher's new form was stable, his mind intact but enhanced. He retained his human memories and personality while gaining capabilities that seemed almost magical to his former species. Sophia and Christopher spent hours talking, discovering they could now communicate on deeper levels than before. Their minds could share thoughts and feelings directly, creating a connection that transcended normal boundaries. However, questions remained. Would Christopher be able to help save Sophia's species? Could his transformed state provide the key to preventing their extinction? As the medical bay quieted for the night, both Sophia and Christopher knew they stood at the beginning of an unprecedented journey. One that would determine the fate of an entire civilization. The grand ceremony hall of Queen Sophia's ship sparkled with crystalline lights. Christopher Bennett, now fully transformed, stood beside Sophia as representatives from both Earth and their empire gathered to witness their bonding ceremony. His new form radiated a subtle glow that matched Sophia's own luminescence. Dr. Laura Phillips and her team had made an extraordinary discovery. Christopher's transformed DNA held the key to saving Sophia's species. His unique genetic structure, a perfect blend of human adaptability, and their advanced biology, provided a template for future transformations. The bonding ceremony combined traditions from both civilizations. Dr. William Carter represented Earth, bringing water from the Pacific Ocean where Christopher had once studied marine life. Captain Daniel carried sacred crystals from Sophia's homeworld. The ceremony would create not just a union between two individuals, but a bridge between two species. Today marks the beginning of a new era, Sophia announced to the gathered audience. Her voice carried both authority and joy. Through understanding and cooperation, we have found a way forward together. Christopher stepped forward, his golden eyes bright with emotion. What we've created here goes beyond survival, he added. We're proving that different species can come together, adapt, and create something entirely new. The genetic solution they discovered was elegant in its simplicity. Christopher's transformed DNA could be used to create a treatment that would allow selected human volunteers to safely undergo the same transformation. More importantly, it would enable Sophia's people to produce healthy offspring again. The first wave of carefully chosen volunteers had already begun their transformations, each showing promising results. Earth's governments had established strict protocols for the selection process, ensuring it remained voluntary and ethical. As part of the agreement, Sophia's people shared their advanced medical technology with Earth. Hospitals worldwide began using their healing techniques, curing diseases that had once been considered untreatable. The cooperation between the two civilizations was transforming both societies. The ceremony reached its peak as Sophia and Christopher completed their bond. The hall filled with a brilliant light as their genetic patterns synchronized, creating a connection deeper than any physical union. The witnesses felt a wave of energy pulse through the room, a tangible sign of the successful merger of their species. Dr. Laura's monitoring equipment recorded the event, confirming their theories. The bonding had created a stable genetic pattern that could be replicated. The future of both species was now secure. In the following days, celebrations took place on Earth and throughout Sophia's empire. The news of their success brought hope to millions. More volunteers came forward, ready to help build this new hybrid civilization. Christopher found that his transformation had given him insights he never expected. He could understand complex scientific concepts instantly, yet retained his human compassion and curiosity. Working with Sophia, he helped design programs to ease the transition for future volunteers. "We're not just preserving one civilization," he explained to a group of candidates. "We're creating a new one, taking the best from both worlds." His words inspired confidence in those preparing for their own transformations. Sophia watched her people flourish again. The first group of transformed humans integrated seamlessly into their society, bringing fresh perspectives and ideas. Earth benefited too, gaining access to advanced technology and new ways of thinking. In their private moments, Sophia and Christopher planned for the future. Their genetic compatibility meant they could have children, ensuring the continuation of their new hybrid species. Their descendants would inherit the strengths of both civilizations. As their ship orbited Earth one evening, they stood together at the observation deck where Sophia had once stood alone. The planet below glowed blue and green, while distant stars beckoned with new possibilities. "This is just the beginning," Sophia said softly, taking Christopher's hand. Their combined glow illuminated the deck, a physical manifestation of their successful union. Christopher nodded, understanding completely. Together, they had transformed a story of potential extinction into one of renewal and hope. Their legacy would live on in the countless generations to come, a testament to the power of adaptation, cooperation, and love transcending the boundaries of species.